Hello sweet friends, welcome to the Lucy Chronicles. My name is Lucy and today's video I'm going to be sharing all of my recommendations for the Tinsel and Tales Readathon. So I'm going to be going through the bingo board kind of prompt by prompt and giving you my recommendations based on what I've read and based on kind of what's on my shelf. But before I do that, I want to kind of throw out a few disclaimers. First of all, a lot of the prompts kind of overlap and work with each other, and I just want to clarify that I created it to do that. I did it on purpose because Christmas, December is a very busy time of year. I would say it's the busiest time of year, and it can get very stressful and it can be very chaotic, and I didn't want to add to that. I want this to be a fun time for us, and I want to kind of make the prompts work for us. So you might find a book that fulfills one prompt and fulfills a couple other prompts on the board as well. I didn't want to have 9 very different prompts that would require you to read 9 different books during the craziest time of year. So definitely double up, triple up, whatever up, okay? And that being said, I am only going to be sharing recommendations today because my TBR video is going to be a little special and different. December is Steve's birthday month. My husband, for those that don't know, is Steve. And so I have decided to let him select my TBR for this readathon. He's been given all of the prompts and he's been given full access to my shelf. So we will be filming that video soon, and that will be releasing towards the end of the month when my normal TBR would be. Well, we can't really see my normal TBR because I haven't really filmed a TBR in a hot minute, but when people would normally put their TBRs out, that is when my TBR will be posted, okay? So this is just going to be recommendations. There are a couple of spaces that I obviously cannot give recommendations for. You'll know it when we get to them. Let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so the first prompt on the bingo board is to read a book with Christmas in the title. And I've got a few that I want to recommend for this, but primarily I have a few that I read myself every year at Christmas that have a Christmas in the title. The first one I want to talk about is The Christmas Star from Afar. This is actually a combo of a book and a little game that you can play with kiddos. And we used to play this with my nieces and nephews when they were really little, and it is so cute. If I can find it, I'll link it in the description for you guys. It's so cute. It's such a fun activity to do with kids. But this book, oh my goodness, this book, you guys. It's the Nativity. Illustrations are stunning, and it's written in verse. But I'm going to show you a couple of my favorite illustrations. Let's see if I can find. Yeah, this is probably my favorite. So we've got the angel here. Isn't she just stunning? And then Mary. And they're very simple, but I still think that they're so beautiful. They're just beautiful, and I love that it's written in verse. But the game is actually really cute. I'm gonna show you. I'm not gonna take everything out, but they're the pieces, and then the big brown piece in the back is actually the stable. And so what you do with this for the game is you set up the manger, or you set up the stable in a permanent location from December 1st through until Christmas. And every day, starting December 1st, you take the star and you hide it somewhere in your house. And the first day should be pretty far away from where the stable is, and the kids have to try to find it. And every day you're gonna move it a little bit closer, like hide it a little bit closer to the stable, so that on Christmas morning, December 25th, you're gonna actually have the star on the stable. And it's just a fun little activity to do with the kiddos, and my nieces and nephews loved it. But my favorite part about this is that they give you, at the very back of the book, they give you a daily scripture that you can read to them. So I think the way it's supposed to go is you hide it, you read the scripture to them, and then they find the star, and then you say a little prayer with them as a family. And I just think it's so cute as a whole. It's just adorable. And I still read this, even though my nieces and nephews are like grown now. I still read this every year. And it's just, I love it. If we had ever had children of our own, we definitely would have made this a tradition. This is the Ginger Bears First Christmas. This is very nostalgic. My mom used to read this to me and my sister every year at Christmas, and it's just so special to me. It's not Christian at all. I mean, Santa Claus is in here, and it's about this little boy and this little girl, this brother and sister, Jenny and Willie, and they roll out some dough and like cut out some, here, I'll show you, some little ginger bears, and mom and dad make them leave it, that they say they're gonna go to bed, and they can finish put them in the oven and everything in the morning. But then the bears come to life. And so in the evening, while everyone's sleeping, the bears help get the house and everything ready for Christmas, for Santa. It's just such a cute little story. It's very nostalgic. I will see if I can find this anywhere and link it below. But yes, I read this every year at Christmas. Miss Carol by Charles Dickens. This is one of my very favorite Christmas stories. I love it. I love it so much. And this will fulfill a couple, I think all of these so far will fulfill some other prompts on the bingo board, but this is like my doozy. This one and Little Women. And so I love it. This is definitely going to be getting read this month, even if Steve doesn't select it for me. He could very easily select this one for me because I do think it's kind of an easy choice, but even if he doesn't, I'm going to fit it into my repertoire in December because it's a tradition. I read it every year and I love it. It's so good. So good. So the second spot on the bingo board is a book that's been on your TBR since last Christmas. This does not have to be a Christmas book. It can be just a book that's been on your TBR shelf. Maybe not even on your shelf. It could be something that's you've just been wanting to read since last Christmas. This is one of those that I can't recommend anything for you because you're the only one that really knows what's been on your TBR since last Christmas. I have a couple of Christmas specific books that have been on my TBR since last Christmas. The first one is A Baxter Family Christmas by Karen Kingsbury. This has been on my TBR for several years, actually. This is Christian fiction. I think there's romance in here. It's contemporary, and this cover is absolutely stunning. And then also A Hidden Christmas by Timothy Keller. This is nonfiction. This is one that I've been wanting to read for quite a while as well. So, and both of these would fulfill the Christmas in the title prompt as well. So, see how they're kind of all going together? Okay. The third prompt on the bingo board is to read a holiday romance. The only thing that I have on my shelf that I've read that is a holiday romance is Let It Snow by John Green, Maureen Johnson, and Lauren Miracle. So 3 little holiday romances. I can't necessarily endorse this with my stamp of approval because it is secular, and I do remember there being some cussing in here. I read this several years ago when I was part of Secular BookTube, and I remember really liking it. It is a very cute story, but if I'm remembering correctly, there is some cussing. I don't remember if there's any open door scenes or anything like that. Part of me wanted to reread this year just to see if it is clean, because if it's not, I definitely want to get it off my shelf. So this is something that I might just read on my own time this month, but I don't know. Yeah, this is the only thing that I have on my shelf that is a holiday romance that I know about anyway. But there are so many little Christmas holiday romances on Kindle Unlimited. I've written a few down here that have kind of caught my eye, and I'll put pictures to the best of my ability here. These are all on Kindle Unlimited, and they've all caught my eye. So One Foggy Christmas by Courtney Kiesel, Not So Alone for Christmas by Jenny Proctor, The 12 Holidays by Emma St. Clair, Christmas with a Crank by Courtney Walsh, Catching Christmas by Terry Blackstock, is one that I really want to read. And then Mandy Blake and Nicole Deese both have one too. I don't remember the titles of them, but they do both have little Christmas stories on Kindle Unlimited. I think that there are plenty of options on Kindle Unlimited. Again, if you don't have Kindle Unlimited, you could check the Kindle app and then like write down titles that interest you and go to your library. But unfortunately, I don't have a ton to recommend there, which is really sad because romance is my genre of choice usually, but I haven't read a ton of Christmas romance. I do not know what Steve's gonna select for me, but we will find out in that video. Right. So the next space on the bingo board is to read the Nativity. Again, I can't give any recommendations for this, but it is the prompt that is the most important to me, that everyone participates in. If you do nothing else during this readathon, please take time out of your crazy life to gather with your family, or if it's just you, with yourself or with your significant other, and take time to read the Christmas story and just reflect on the gift of the gospel and the gift of God's son Jesus to us, because that is the ultimate gift. He is the real reason for the season, and I just want to make sure we're all reminded of that as Christians, what this season truly is about. So the center square is your free gift, so you can read whatever you want. It can be a Christmas book. It doesn't have to be a Christmas book. It can be whatever you want it to be. I think this is the only space on the board, aside from reading the Nativity, that Steve is not going to be selecting a book for me to read. He's like, I just want you to be able to have one book at least that you can read out of your own choice. And so I think for me, what I'm going to read, just because it's brand new and I'm just super intrigued by it, it is Max Lucado's Christmas collection. And we have An Angel Story, The Christmas Candle, and The Christmas Child. And An Angel Story is actually the Nativity. So there's that. This list looks so cute. I found this at the Goodwill in La Crosse. And I just love, do you guys see the pages? Do you see that? How they're like the rugged edges. And it's just so beautiful. I even love the dust jacket. Normally I prefer hardcovers without the dust jacket, but I think that this dust jacket is actually really, really beautiful. So yes, so this is one that is, I might end up using as my free space. I reserve the right to change my mind, but as of right now, I think this is the one I'm gonna be reading because it's just so cute. It's so beautiful, and like Max Lucado is so good. I love Max Lucado. Okay, next prompt is to read a book with a festive cover. I didn't really pick anything exclusively for this prompt just because all of the ones that we've mentioned so far would fulfill it. The next one is to read a book that has been adapted into a movie and then go watch the movie. This one I have a few recommendations for. A lot of them I don't have the physical copies for, but we'll start with the one that I do. So the first one I have is How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Dr. Seuss. This is a bind up of 6 of Seuss's stories, and How the Grinch Stole Christmas right here is in here. This is another one I try to read every year. It doesn't always happen, but I do really, really love it. And then obviously there are a few different adaptations. That is the first one that comes to my mind. But there's also Frosty the Snowman. There's a book based off of that movie. You've got Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. You could do the Nativity because I think that there's several adaptations of the Nativity. Christmas Carol could work for that as well. A couple others that come to mind are It's a Wonderful Life. I know there's a book that's based off that. And The Polar Express. This is gonna get a little tricky now. How does that look? The next prompt is to read a book with snow on the cover. I have a few options for that. So we've got Let It Snow by John Green, Lauren Miracle, and Marie Johnson. Again, I cannot put my stamp of approval on this because I haven't read it in a long time and I think there might be cussing in here. So, but that is one that's on my shelf. I also have The Shack by William P. Young. And there's definitely snow on this cover. This is a really good book. I've read it. I know it's controversial. everyone has different opinions, but I really enjoyed it. It did minister to me. And then I do have Cold Pursuit by Nancy Neal. I haven't read this one, so I can't, again, put my stamp of approval on it, but this is on my shelf. It's one that I found that does have snow on it. Yeah, and I think that's all that I have on my... Speaking of snow, do you guys see all that dog hair flying around? Yeah, it looks like it's snowing with all the husky hair, doesn't it? Y'all, it literally looks like a Build-A-Bear workshop exploded in my house right now. That's how badly they are shedding. And we're like vacuuming every other day.
And it still looks like I'll insert some footage here of the floor in our living room right now. It's a daily struggle. The joys of living with huskies. It's shedding season right now, and then it'll be shedding season again at the thaw. It's not like this 24/7, 12 months a year. It's literally just the 2 main shedding seasons that it's this bad. So don't let it scare you from getting a husky. They are one of the worst breeds, but it's not year round.
Okay, so the last prompt is to read a Christmas mystery. And a lot of people were struggling with this, and honestly and truthfully, when I created the prompt, I was like, Lucy, you're kind of crazy. There are like no Christmas mysteries out there. I have read Christmas Cake Murder by Joanne Fluke. This is a little Hannah Swenson Christmas story. I read this one. It's so cute, and it comes with like lots of little recipes, which I absolutely love. Christmas, I really want to do some more baking and try to see if I can create some dairy-free deliciousness with this. But then she has another one, Christmas Cupcake Murder. I haven't read this one yet. This would also fulfill snow on the cover. It would fulfill Christmas in the title, a festive cover. I mean, technically, I don't know if this specific book has been turned into a movie, but I know that the Hannah Swenson series has been adapted into some Hallmark movies, so I would count it. I'm not gonna lie to you, I would, but yeah. That there's so many, like this little cozy mystery set. And I love these because they take place in Minnesota. And again, there's pineapple white chocolate bar cookies. I mean, shut up. That just sounds amazing. It just sounds good. So, yeah, this one would fulfill a lot. I would like to read this Christmas, this holiday, but I don't know. I do not know if I don't know what he's gonna pick. So, and I don't know how much time I'm gonna have to read. So we shall see. But I think these two are really cute together. So that is kind of where I'm at for the recommendations. I think Katie and Cheryl, they both did some recommendations on a recommendations video. And then I never know how to say her name. I feel like I'm gonna butcher it. I'll put it on the screen here. She posted very recently like over an hour long video of recommendations, so I'll link that down below so you guys can go check that out. She has tons. There went my ring light. Y'all, it's killing me. This ring light is gonna be the death of me. Comment down below, like, if you use a ring light and which ring light you use and like what you would recommend. Like, do I even use it? Like, is this okay? This lighting? So I feel like it's like night and day, but I digress. I hope you guys have a blessed day. Thank you so much to all my co-hosts for participating and for being here for me. And thank you for watching. I love you all so much. And I will see you very soon with another video. Bye.